All right, well, it's good to be here today. Normally I would be with you. The last several years that we've done this, I've been there in person, but we ended up having a wedding today, so I'm not able to be there. But we are here at Just Girl Stuff, and we're going to look at some dresses. Tom Hardy has probably talked to you about hair and how you can do it up or you can do it down, and we're going to talk about your face, your facial structure, and your body, and how you can choose a dress and a hairstyle that will look good in your pictures. All right, we are here with Lori with Just Girl Stuff. We're here with Shelby in this beautiful dress. Lori, why don't you tell me about this dress and some of the features of the dress, and then I can go over how we would photograph this dress.
This is a beautiful drop-waisted dress, great sweetheart neckline, gorgeous embellishment at the top, with a nice peekaboo skirt with pickups all through the back of it. Just your classic wedding dress.
Yeah, and this is a wonderful dress to show an asymmetrical dress. Now, one of the principles we want to talk about is facial structure. When you photograph your face, the thing that we want to look at is we want to try and identify which is the open side of your face and which is the closed side of your face. The way you do that is if you look at yourself in the mirror and look at your eyes, and your eyes, if you draw a line straight through your eyes, and then close your lips and draw a line through your lips, you should see that that line will open or close on one side or the other. If the lines go like this, then this side of the face would be the open side. And that's the side of your face that you want to open your hair on when you do your hair. That's also the side that you would want to open your dress. So let's look at Shelby and let's see what side is her open or closed side. Here you can see we have Shelby's face. And what we want to do is we want to draw a line through her eyes, a straight line through her eyes. And then draw another line straight through her lips. And if you can see, Shelby has a pretty symmetrical face, but it's slightly opened this way. So this side over here is her open side of the face. And so when she does her hair, we want to have the part on this side of her head. And then that way it'll show the open side and her face will look nice and symmetrical. Now this is a perfect example of if we didn't identify that beforehand, she may have bought this beautiful dress and had it be the wrong dress. Because here on this dress, we have an open A-line on her right side, but her open side is on her left side. So when we photograph her, we want the show side of the dress, all of the pretty part, all of the lace and that showing towards the dress. But then we would have her open side of her face going away from the camera and her closed side going into the camera, which is just opposite. So in order to photograph this dress well, we have to sacrifice her face. Or if we want to show her face well, then we're sacrificing the dress because we're putting the dress where we can't see it. The other thing we needed to discuss, since we've talked about the face and talked about the symmetrical side, this is something that's really important when you look at your photographer to see if they know what they're doing or not, because they can make you look better or they can make you look worse. When you identify which side is the open side of your face, that's the direction you want the light to come from. Light should come from a direction. It shouldn't come straight on. When you look here at Shelby, the light is coming from this side. It's highlighting one side of her face and putting the other side of her face in a little bit of a shadow. That shows 3 dimensions, and we want that. That's a good thing. But if it's coming in from the wrong side, it can distort your face and make it look funny. And that's one of those things that Photoshop will never fix. So Photoshop is good for some things to make it look nice, but lighting and posing are 2 things that Photoshop will never fix. Okay, so we have Shelby in a new dress now. And I'm going to turn over to Lori and have Lori explain and describe the dress to you.
Okay, this is a mermaid style of dress. And as you can see, it also has the sweetheart neckline. It also has rouging all the way down with the crystals that are all the way through the gown as well, with a tiered skirt at the bottom. That's really tears off in the back and does a nice train.
So this dress that Shelby is in is different than the other dress. First of all, it's a symmetrical dress, where each side is the same. This dress, you don't have to worry so much about which is the open side and which is the closed side of the dress. But one of the things that is different about this dress is it has bands around the waist and that are bunched up. Anytime you bunch material like that, it can add size to your waist or to your hips. And we want to make you look as slender and as small as possible. So we're going to talk about a couple of techniques to do that. The first technique is, Shelby, I'm going to have you step on your left foot and then bend your right knee and point your right toe towards the camera. What that's done is it's taken her waistline and it's turned it to a 45-degree angle. When you're facing the camera straight on, it makes your hips look as wide as, that's the widest point of your hips. And if you have anything extra, it's going to make it look even wider. If we turn you exactly to the side, then it's showing the widest side of your backside. And so if we turn you to at a 45-degree angle, we get the slimmest side of your hips and the slimmest side of your backside. And so your waist area looks really good. Now, the next thing we're going to do is people will look at things in proportion. So if we can make your shoulders look wider proportionally than your hips, then your hips will look even smaller. So if we turn Shelby's shoulders a little bit towards the camera, that now gives us a little bit wider view of the shoulders. And so the waist will look relatively smaller than the shoulders are. Now, the other thing that we're going to do is talk about arm placement. If we have Shelby's arm covering her waistline, what's going to happen is we might as well have just added 3 inches on each side to her waistline, because you can't see where the waist ends and the arm begins. So what we want to do is we want to bend Shelby's elbow just a little bit and show that small curve, this curve of the small part of the back. That's an important thing to show in a pose, because then you can see where the waist actually ends and where the arm begins, and it makes her waist look as small as possible. These are all techniques that in Photoshop you'll never be able to Photoshop that. And this is something that if it wasn't posed right to begin with, so you want to choose a photographer that knows these techniques in posing, so they can make you look thin without having to Photoshop you so you don't look natural, don't look the way you should look. So hopefully you've seen with a couple different dresses some different styles, some different tips. Hopefully you've learned some things about photography, that it's not just a matter of, well, you take a whole bunch of images and then you Photoshop them. What we find is there are a lot of photographers out there that will take a ton of images. I'll hear some photographers that will say they take 1,400, 1,500 images, but what I've noticed is usually 10 to 12 images are all the same thing. And so you're really not getting that many, you're just getting more shutter clicks. And so it does take a lot of skill and a lot of training to learn how to work with the dresses, to learn how to work with the different body sizes, to have the hair. So doing the hair, the makeup, and the posing, the photography, is all going to work together to make you look good on your wedding day. And so make sure that you look into that and make sure that you have all 3 things as strong points of your wedding. We want to thank Lori with Just Girl Stuff that we're able to come here. You can see there are a whole bunch of dresses. There are a bunch of people in the store. It's a great place to come. Here in this location, this is the Riverdale location, they have bridesmaids dresses and flower girl dresses. The wedding dresses that you see here, those are being sold out of their Salt Lake location. But you can contact Lori and her staff at her Riverdale location, and that'll work out just great. But we want to thank Lori for letting us be here, and we're going to turn the time back over to Tom and his staff and go over some more hair stuff. Thanks so much.